Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Roast podcast, where we explore the stories behind the passion. I'm your host, Joseph, and today we have a special guest, Emily from Hardscrabble Coffee. In this episode, we dive into Emily's journey of starting a mobile coffee business, the inspiration behind Hardscrabble Coffee, and the challenges and triumph of being a mobile entrepreneur. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast and follow us for more inspiring stories. Let's get into it. Emily, welcome to the podcast, and thank you for joining me in the show. How are
Yeah,
you?
thanks for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Good. So can you give a little bit about yourself and what do you do and what is your business?
Yeah, my name's Emily. I am out in Middleburg, which is in Schoharie County, which is kind of in between Albany and Cooperstown and this like triangular area out here if you haven't been this way. I have a mobile coffee trailer that I run out here. It's primarily a weekend gig. It picks up a bit in the summer midweek, a little bit of bopping around to more pop-ups during the week. But so you have to follow to find out where I am. But that's the gig, Hardscrabble Coffee out in Schoharie County.
What inspired you to start Hardscrabble Coffee Trailer?
Yeah, so I haven't always been like a coffee person. I think the first coffee I ever made was Christmas morning. It was part of my parents' deal. If we wanted them to get up at like 5 o'clock to open everything, we just had to bring them coffee. So I'm sure it was awful that they had to drink. And then working on same farm where I primarily set up the trailer, actually growing up, working on Barbara's farm, there was always coffee in the crew room. So you'd get there at 7 to pick corn, put a ton of sugar, a ton of milk, and top it off with a little bit of drip coffee in there. So that was my first like coffee experience. It got better from there. But I remember vividly one of my friends having an espresso machine and him offering me a coffee and saying, "Do you want a latte, an Americano, a cappuccino?" And I was like, I don't know what any of them are. So just make whatever you think is going to be good. And that was probably 10 years ago. So it's not like I've always grown up wanting to be a barista or owning a coffee shop. My relationship with coffee has really developed over the last probably 5 years when I started to figure out what I actually liked. And then as far as this business, when I had my second kid, I stopped working and was home. I made it about 4 months before I was like, I need to get out of the house. I cannot just be at home with the kids. And so looking at this area, which I was born and raised here, and I really love a lot about the Schoharie Valley, and I love bringing other people in to see what an awesome place it is. A lot of it is this farm that's been a huge part of my life, and to get people to bring in and what were we missing and what could I open that drew more people to the area. And at that time, when I started this thought process, the town didn't have a coffee shop. The last one had closed down, I think, a couple of years prior. We since, and just before I opened, we have an awesome shop right in town, Middleburg Coffee Company. They are great. But at the time when I was developing this idea, we didn't have a coffee shop. So it was definitely a need for the area. And since I kind of stay on the outskirts of town, I'm about 3 miles south of the village primarily, we don't really have a good spot to stop. So that's what started it all. Like, what can I add? How can I add to the area? If I can add to the farm, that's been a huge part of my life. So this coffee idea popped up. I was down in Virginia for grad school, and they have they have them all over the place, but this is where I encountered them. Coffee Joe Beans shacks. It's like a tiny little box in the middle of the parking lot, drive through. And that was my first thought, like, oh, I could do a little plop down box as a drive through. And then the idea of a trailer, seeing more of that came through. And then I went from there, just learned it all.
So like you just wanted just to get the trailer. Are you planning to get like an actual like storefront or no?
My goal is not a brick and mortar. It has not been a part of the business plan at all. I really like the idea of being able to go where I'm needed to help draw attention to things. So I can do a ton of fundraisers. I do a lot for different school groups. We have got Little League coming up on Saturday. This Thursday, I have the Schoharie National Honor Society. And I can bring myself, those are with my cart that I also have, go to these places to do their fundraisers where they're trying to raise the money. Go to the Greene County Fair, which hasn't had a purely coffee vendor before, and add something to this great thing that they've already established, but help draw more people. So I really like being mobile for that reason. It's also kind of nice having young kids that if I do have to shut it down, because it's me, every once in a while I have somebody in there helping me, but I am the coffee shop. So if my kids get sick and I have to shut it down because I can't be there, being mobile gives me a little bit more leeway there. With the brick and mortar, if you put your sign up that you're closed and you have these solid hours, people are a little bit more upset. Being mobile, they're like, oh yeah, your hours kind of change pretty frequently. So that's another draw for it. There's also the financial part too. I don't have the same overhead as a brick and mortar.
So what was the process from getting everything off the ground when you started?
Oh my
What
God.
was your
It's
process?
so much. First, it's the starting all the business things where you create your LLC, you get everything in the newspaper, you open your bank accounts, you line up where what finances you're going to use. I started before I got the LLC and the business like paperwork started. It was training. It was watching a ton of videos. I did a couple in-person trainings, talked to a bunch of coffee people, went and visited a bunch of coffee shops, and a lot of just like practice, practice, practice. A friend of mine passed his espresso machine on to me so I could at least practice at home, which is very different than a commercial machine, but it got me started. Then it was to look for like research the equipment, look for a trailer. My first thought was to get a small horse trailer. So I reached out to one of our friends who has a farm auction business, and he said, actually, instead of looking for a horse trailer, we're about to put our mobile office that we've been using through COVID up in our next auction. And it was built to be a wood fired pizza trailer. So if you're interested in that, that might be better. So that's actually what I wound up doing because he gave us a great deal that I couldn't pass up in the space and having it already be, stainless walls in there and having wiring, all the plugs and electric mostly done in there. I did have to add some stuff to it, but that was huge to just have that blank slate to start with. So getting the trailer, building out a lot of swearing, putting in the plumbing because I didn't know anything about plumbing. I know quite a bit more. Getting all the regulations, a lot of conversations with the health department before opening, which I think they appreciated as much as I did because you read state rules, which are generally the state health department rules are the same across the state, but they're kind of ambiguous in places. So actually going to my county health department and emailing and saying, I have a question about this and this and this. And they were super helpful, giving me more concrete answers. So the build out, deciding where I was going to set up and getting that kind of set in stone. Commissary kitchen was huge. As a mobile unit, you have to have a commissary kitchen, like a certified kitchen to use. So I wound up going over to SUNY Cobleskill. They have the Institute for Rural Vitality, a program that helps businesses start up or expand. They have a bunch of different programs like this, but our local one, the Institute for Rural Vitality, is at SUNY Cobleskill, and was able to rent kitchen space through them. So that was another giant hurdle to get through. And finding my roaster. So I tried a couple ones, and luckily I absolutely love our roaster that lives 12 minutes from where I do. So it's really easy to send him a text or call him and say, hey, I'm going to need way more beans than I thought. Can I pick these up on such and such a date? And have them right nearby on top of really liking the bean that I wound up choosing.
You did multiple trials of different roasters locally, right? And what made you decide to use Chatty Whittier as your roaster?
Yeah, Chatty Run, they have part of it is I really like their business model. You see them and they're really easy to communicate with. So, them as a business, I looked at that part. The bean, I do like a darker roast. I know that a lot of people steer more toward medium. Espresso being medium is kind of more of a thing now. I'm just really like a dark roast. And the chocolate notes always kind of get me. And their dark hunter and fit all those profiles that I really like.
You know, it's funny. I'm having him on my podcast next month too.
Oh,
So I'm
you
gonna
are?
have
We
him.
haven't even talked about this.
So he's gonna go through a whole breakdown.
Oh, great. Yeah, Cooney and Georgette are awesome.
Yeah, he's
I
great.
yeah, I like having them on my team.
Yeah, I can't wait to have him on, and then we go through a whole his process, what made him start as a roaster and everything. But that's good that you and him, 2 locals supporting each other, and then bringing his brand out there too for his roasting and his beans, so everybody can try, which is really awesome. I like that. Everybody using a local roaster for like the name Hardscrabble. How
Yeah.
did you come up with that name and that concept?
I wish I had a better story for you. I was really I was really, really needed a name when I was doing the LLC to get it done by my deadline, and I was not creative enough, and, the road that I live off is Hardscrabble Road. So I combined the 2 words together to make it more mine. The phrase itself is big in a lot of these small, rural, hilly areas. You can have these hardscrabble farms where the hardscrabble life, you're as a farmer on this land, you're digging through shale and trying to get your stuff to grow, and that still speaks to a lot of families in the area who have started that same way. But really for the business, I wasn't as creative as I could have been.
So how did you just decide what kind of drinks you want to put for your menu, and like how was the whole process of doing tasting and trial and error to make sure that everything was perfect the way that you want it, and then how you would present those drinks to your customers?
Yeah, well, there's the way I got to where I started and then how it's evolved too. So just before opening doors, it was a lot of I had to limit myself because you can only drink so much coffee every day. I started hard with cold brew because I like a good black cold brew. So really narrowing my process down batch after batch after batch, and then doing when I found some ratios and time that worked for me, doing that on a larger scale to make sure it translated, and then testing on family and friends every time I went somewhere. And should I bring coffee with me? Can you try it? And we had a morning where we had a couple people over to try at the house. So I started without the espresso machine, which is really weird for a coffee shop, I know. But part of it was me being undecided which machine I exactly wanted to start with. Part of it is the upfront cost of an espresso machine. And it was the middle of summer. An additional challenge that you have to think for everything that you choose in a coffee trailer is that your power draw is pretty limited because I don't plug in, I have a generator, and the weight capacity. So I kind of pushed that actual espresso part. I use the same bean for the espresso and my cold brew and my drip. It's all just processed differently, obviously. So it started with a lot of trial and error on my end, added friends and family, kind of got feedback on what type of drinks they would like to see right off the bat. So in the trailer, I have a larger selection than I do in my cart. I knew that I wanted a non-coffee option too. It kind of sucks to be the friend going with your friend to a coffee shop when you don't drink coffee. So right off the bat, I had a turmeric and had a beetroot option in there too that I've taken away for a little while. But kind of picking and choosing. So when I started, I had a slightly different menu, seeing what sold, what people liked, what they didn't like about certain drinks, and then tweaking from there. A lot of my specials that I do come from either customer suggestions or any of the social media. I follow a million different coffee shops and a bunch of Facebook groups of mobile coffee owners specifically. They see coming through what they've tried. And then from there, it's a lot of trial and error to what tastes right because everybody uses different syrups and different flavorings and different beans. So even if you were to get three people who said this is a great recipe to make this one and you try it, it's not perfect. My husband drinks a lot of cold brew and a lot of concoctions at home too, just to try them out for me. So yeah, that's how it started, and that's kind of how the menu tweaks from month to month.
Yeah, you see, like my coffee bar back here, I'm always doing some trial and errors on some drinks and stuff like that, and trying to make stuff, especially for my wife. She loves like, specialty lattes and certain drinks.
Yeah.
So I got like a whole like setup for matcha, everything. Yeah, I make a whole bunch of different drinks for her, and I got matcha now, a matcha set. So I'm gonna start making some matcha drinks. She doesn't like matcha, I do. I got pour over set. I got a whole bunch of different equipment all behind me. And I'm trying to do like some videos and brands and stuff like that, and hopefully get some brand sponsorships. But
Yeah.
yeah, so, like, for social media and all the drink trends, like, how do you keep up with that? Especially if when you wanna put those, like, seasonal drinks when you're mobile car or, like, spring, summer, however you do it.
Yeah. So the trends, it's nice to go through and kind of pick and choose things that work for you. There's definitely trends that have come and gone that I'm just that aren't gonna work for my brand and my coffee and what I like and what I can really promote to people. There's some weird flavored trends that have come through. So kind of a lot of it is something that appeals to me. A lot of it is, well, I know that my customers like these types of flavors and they're coming through in that drink. So I think that'll be one that can appeal to people. And then if it uses syrups that I already have in, because again, space is pretty limited in mobile, especially when I have the cart. If it uses a flavor that I already have on hand, that steers me toward it too, just so I'm not left with a whole bottle of some like ube or something that I don't normally use, even though the flavor is really cool. If not a lot of people order it, then it's kind of a waste.
Are you gonna be planning to make, like, a couple of syrups in-house or something like that for
So I
this?
would I would love to, but with my kitchen space in my big trailer, I don't think it's feasible right now. I would absolutely love to. It's more cost effective. It's more personalized. You can really kind of steer it the direction that you want. But right now, it's not feasible for me, both time and space wise. So I mostly use 1883 syrups. They're pretty
That's the best
basic.
syrup.
I really like them. They're basic as far as their ingredient list. They don't add in a bunch of stuff. I feel like you get a lot more flavor for the amount of sugar that you're putting in. So that appeals to me a little bit more. If they don't have a flavor that either if they have a flavor I don't particularly care for, or if there's one that I'm looking for they don't carry, I go for Monin for the same reason. There's less stuff in there.
Yeah, those are the 2 best, like, syrup companies that I would go towards, those
Yeah.
2, and then Da Vinci's another one. Torani, I don't like too much. I used to like Torani, then I just got rid of it because I just hate the taste of it, but I stick to more towards those, like, 1883 and the Monin and the Da Vinci. Those are the 3 ones, and then every once in a while, I'll make my own syrups. Are you planning to be this year's Capital City Rescue Missions coffee trail?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll likely do that again. I really enjoy it, obviously, for the cause itself. And then it's brought, so the first year was a little bit slower. The second year, last year, there were so many people that came out that had never been to either Schoharie County, Schoharie Valley, Middleburg area. So that was great.
I'm actually super excited because I'm going to be part of the Capital City Rescue Mission, and we're trying to get 40 coffee shops involved. So we're going to have two different maps. We're going to have an upper region and a lower region. So I'm super excited, and I can't wait. And I'm going to be doing a lot of the video content too for that too for the whole event. So that's going to be awesome. I'm working with Shelly. She's amazing. She gave me actually the sign up sheet to give to the coffee shops to start signing up. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, count us in.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So when are you starting your mobile trailer already? Or
Yeah,
like what is your
so
season like when you
right.
normally start and end?
Yeah, so this is going into our fourth season. The trailer is open by Earth Day, usually through November as a general time frame. It's not insulated, so once it gets freezing overnight, I have to watch my temperatures. I have to put a heater on in the trailer, and it just gets to be too much of a pain. But last March, I built a fully collapsible cart that I can use, and this winter pretty much went at least one day open every weekend. So it's off season, but it's still been going all the way through. But the trailer this year should be open by at least Earth Day.
Have you getting a lot more bookings in the wintertime since you got the mobile cart too? Because there's a group of girls around upstate New York area where I'm at, the Sip Society girls, and they started off with their like mobile cart and then they just quit their 9 to 5 job and they're doing this full time. Last year they started around this time. I did their first video and it blew up and then they've been getting bookings like crazy. So has that like done anything for you? Like getting a lot of bookings, people are like for weddings, bar mitzvahs, anything for events?
Yeah, I do more public and business events than private events. I've done probably like a handful, 5, 6 private events, and I don't really advertise it as much. I do have pricing on my website, which the website needs some work. I'm not as much of a media person yet. There have definitely been a few, and I get inquiries a bit, but it's more for the cart, I think, than the trailer, whether that's the time that I've put it out there. But yeah, they've both been to different events, the cart and the trailer. That was a roundabout answer.
And you're doing this full time or no, just part time right now?
No, part-time, yep.
Part
Yeah,
time and you have a
I
regular
mean,
9 to 5.
it's part-time. No, so I had left my job for the kids, so I have a couple of part-time jobs that are all kind of spaced in there, and even though
Okay.
this is part-time, when it's not open, because it's not a brick and mortar, I have to go get water, I have to empty water on my days off, I have to restock everything and get it all stashed to its different places and maintenance on the trailer, so you get an extra 2 days of, work more than you're actually open. So, yeah, especially in the winter, it's definitely part-time. It was pushing pretty close to full time in the summer.
I don't see really you much posting much on social media. Like I only see because you're getting close to starting your car or ending it. But if you post more, I think you would get a lot more slammed and you probably don't even know what to even do if you keep on posting a lot of like different videos and like your menus and stuff like that. You think social media will definitely help you
Yeah,
get you like too crazy?
yeah, and part of that, I mean, every small business owner, especially solo business owner, I think can empathize on this. It's just the brain capacity, and emotional capacity for it, especially when you're doing the other part-time jobs and you've got 2 littles at home, and so it'll get better as we as we expand. It'll get there. I'm happy with slow growth. It was my goal to start, just on weekends and then add this past fall. Okay, both kids are in school for at least part day, so I can add a couple mornings on there. And that expanded a lot faster this fall than I was expecting. So yeah, some weeks I'm just clawing to hang on to just be open on top of other things. So yeah, social media will get there.
Since that video I posted up, has anybody come to you and say, "Hey, I wanted that banana bread latte"?
Yeah, we had a couple people come through for the banana bread. I kept it up, I think, for maybe another week before I took it down. It wasn't up too much longer, but yeah, I had people that were waiting for it. Yeah.
What is the biggest struggles that you had when you had your mobile cart? Like, what was your downfalls as you like travel around with this mobile cart? Like the biggest
Yeah.
struggles you had?
Just being mobile, I feel like I'm pretty good at scheduling, but there's so many moving pieces that you have to keep track of, and your schedule is always changing. So keeping track of where you are and what you've got lined up and your lead times and everything that you're ordering, which if I'm ordering syrups can change. Some days they show up 3 days later. Some days they're backed up and they can take 3 weeks. Giving my roaster enough lead time for beans and just keeping track of every single little thing throughout. I would say that and that it's still mostly me running the show, besides pulling a couple people in to help out every once in a while. So just the physical demand, I'm rolling the generator in and out all the time. When I have the cart, I'm lifting the espresso machine and pulling it from wherever my vehicle is into the building, and it's all just being done by one person. So you don't really get a reprieve.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, doing all that, especially by yourself. Since the whole thing that's going on right now in this world where tariffs and coffee has gone up dramatically, you have to increase your prices for the new year, right? Do you know
Yeah,
what what the percentage of like cost has gone up?
it's been slowly happening in different areas, and I've been trying to tweak different things to kind of keep it in line so it's not like a big jump. Like the oat milk that I was using, I really like the Califia oat milk, and I've switched back over to Oatly just for pricing. Tiny little tweaks like that changed which cups I was getting, changed how I was doing my ice to kind of keep it in line. So it hasn't been as big of a jump as other people. The beans definitely went up the most. And that was more, from what I hear, Cooney can tell you better about this. I think it was more of the environmental kind of crisis for the beans not growing as well. And then being worried about the next growing season. So having to increase the price on bean from the growers, from the farms, increasing the prices as they got to the roaster. But they've been really good to my roasters at making sure they're not doing a giant jump. They're trying to do what they can to absorb some of that. So exact percentage, I couldn't tell you, but I know that I've been tweaking here and there to just try and keep it in check.
Yeah, I've been like traveling from coffee shop to coffee shop all around the area, and right now, like drinks are going about $8 for a latte, between $8 and $9 depending on where you go. Some other places are doing like 6 or 7. If I'm going to a place and you're charging a decent amount of money, especially like $8 or $9, I expect that latte to be perfect. And I had some that are like $8 or $9, and the coffee tastes like crap or the latte tastes like crap.
Sure.
This thing tastes horrible. Who's training this person to make it? Or you can remake it. Especially when you're spending that much money, I expect to have it, dialed in, making sure that the flavors are balanced and it just doesn't like be like a sugary drink, you know?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough as a business owner to, as far as like the sugary drink thing, because a lot of people look for that in more of like a Dunkin' style thing versus like traditional Italian coffee. Even looking at your espresso ratios, are you going for a 7 gram for a single? Or are you going for 9 grams in your single basket? Because those alone are going to appeal to different people. So part of that is the shop owner just having to dial into what they want to sell and just dig their heels in and not try to appeal to everybody, because that can be really hard as a shop owner too, is because you want everybody to like something. I think I struggled with that a lot in the beginning too, like kind of picking my lane. And it's also hard, yeah, financially for both the shops and the consumer, because you want to cover your bases, and especially with overhead for brick and mortars, and you're looking at electric lately, which again, bonus of being mobile and that shooting up, and you have to cover your costs, and you're hiring all these people, and you have to pay your payroll. So you have to cover it with just your coffee. And then also as a consumer, you walk in and, your take home from work, how many hours are you working to buy 2 lattes? So you do want something that fits what you're looking for. So just to be, yeah, it's a tough world for everybody out there right now with lattes for sure.
Yeah, but, like, if you're gonna increase your costs and whatever, like, I don't mind, I'll pay, just make sure it's just done right, that's all. That's what I ask for is, like, don't give me too much sugar, and I told them, like, "Keep it just balanced, don't give me too much of the syrup or add too much syrup into it," and I'll be fine with it, I know what the cost
Yeah.
is. I'm there to support a local business, like, if you have to increase your prices for your coffee, it is what it is, that's what this world is coming to. Everything is just going up in price. There are a lot more coffee shops opening up locally, especially up here. There's so many. It's like next week there's another one gonna be opening up, and then there's another one and another one. I'm like, all locally where I'm at, and I'm like, Jesus, man, why there's so many freaking coffee shops? You're seeing more locally owned than
Yeah.
actual like Starbucks, Dunkins.
Which is
They're
great.
opening up, which is really great. I love that, supporting local and then having people, opening up their shops and, living their dream. of being a business owner, and that's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
There's a Seven Brew that's opening up around my area, which is the worst coffee that I ever had.
Haven't had those yet. I did see that one popped up in Schenectady, but
Don't waste your money. It's not worth it. You're getting a sugary drink, a sugary milk drink. You don't even taste the espresso. The espresso is not there. That's how horrible it is. Where you at, especially in Middleburg area, has there any more shops opening up that you notice as compared to where it is up in the Albany upstate area, like where I'm at, towards up north?
no, I think it's kept pretty even. We had a small shop open up in Cobleskill that has closed. Middleburg is rocking it on Main Street. A couple of the surrounding towns. I think there's one opening. I want to say Esperance or Sloansville. It's across 88 that I saw popping up. But they're all small towns that don't necessarily have a main coffee shop yet, where people would drive to Stewart's or Dunkin' Donuts. We're not in a Starbucks area, but I think it's kept pretty even keel. It doesn't feel oversaturated. But I know what you mean. Even for mobile too is picking up in this area. It's been huge out west forever, but and slowly creeping up to upstate New York. But I was on Facebook Marketplace the other day and did see 5 or 6 mobile carts offering their services through there. So that I feel like has picked up for sure.
Yeah, mobile carts are just like taking off like a storm. Like it's crazy. Like this person is doing a matcha mobile cart and
Yeah.
she just started, which is pretty cool. And it's funny because the guy, my boss at my job, it's his fiance's friend, and I did a video review and he came up to me, says, "Hey, did you do a review for this matcha cart?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Ugh, I really don't want you to look at my videos because you're my boss." He's not a coffee type of guy, and he's just, "Yeah, my wife's, friend opened up her own matcha cart, and they showed me the video, and I seen that it was you," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess the news is out there." Everybody in my job is, like, hilarious. She's like, "Which is the best coffee shop?" Everybody sees my videos at work.
Yeah.
It just comes up, and they said, "Where's the best places to go?" I said, "If you're around this town, go to this area. If you're around this town, go to this area." And I told them what good coffee shops are around, support these local businesses, which is pretty cool, and I'm hoping that I can get people to your mobile cart, and hopefully the Capital City Rescue Mission, when we get all those maps up and running, definitely there's gonna be a lot of people. I'm gonna try to like sell this like crazy, getting all these maps out, getting more local businesses involved, and then trying to get more people to purchase the maps to help them with their cause, and then get all those people to start going into these local shops and trying them all out. That's my biggest goal with them, and I'm super happy to be part of it for
Yeah,
this year.
that's great. We appreciate that. Everybody local and small really likes any extra eyes that can be kind of pulled toward us.
And the good thing too is you don't have to get the free coffee option, like the 12 ounce. I always like give my free one away, and then I'll just do the whatever, like upcharge or buy a latte instead. I just like have somebody else try it out that never tried it before. Hey, you're getting a cup here.
Perfect. Yeah.
I'll use the free one instead.
Yeah. No, it's great for exposure for sure.
Yeah, it's good for exposure. People get to try you guys out, and then hopefully you get that customer all the time.
You heard me saying when I first got on there that I had my cart open today. I closed that down, came up. I have to move my big trailer, pull that out of hibernation for brakes to be changed, go pack up the cart for tomorrow, a different event. So we're all over the place too.
Since you're gonna start opening up for the season, do you have your spring drink lineup yet, like menu that you're planning to put?
What I just put on there a couple weeks ago, which will probably be gone by the time the trailer opens, there's for Easter, a Cadbury caramel latte. So obviously a sweeter one. I have an Irish cream right now, a brown butter banana. So, but those will change a little bit. I've got some ideas for more of a springtime menu. The big things for the cart is that matcha comes back, turmeric comes back, cold foam comes back. They're all things that need extra cleaning, and I just don't have the setup on the cart to make it feasible to do those. So once the trailer opens, I've got the space and sanitation and cleaning and more utensils in there. So they'll come back, which is huge because people have been dying for cold foam.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing. Like everything has to have cold foam on it. You can't just get a regular just latte without the cold foam or the whipped cream. It has to have a
I
cold
saw
foam
you
or a whipped cream.
I saw the podcast that you did. I forget who you had on, and she was saying too that it's cold foam everywhere.
Yeah, that was her Broadway coffee. She's like, "Yeah, everything's gonna have cold foam on it, and it has to have
Yeah,
like a topper or like a
yeah,
decoration." Like,
yeah.
here's the thing too, is like I want to make sure that my latte is balanced, not too much sugar, just like perfect amount of balance, and I want to taste the espresso. I don't care about lining the cup. Stop wasting your time lining the damn cup. It ain't doing nothing for the drink.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
to squirt around. It does look beautiful, but yeah, it's not adding. It doesn't mix in.
yeah, it's just an appearance thing, right? And then next thing you know, they're putting the cold foam. Yeah, the cold foam's all right, and then they're drizzling, and then they're putting all like these crumbles and everything, and I'm like,
I've
Jesus.
totally done it. And some of the drinks that I've done it too, I'll stand up for them. Like a s'mores, I had graham cracker crumbles on the top to get the graham cracker piece in there, so that's something to do with it. Yeah, I definitely I have all sorts of customers. There's customers who want a dry cappuccino, and there's a lot of customers who want a dessert. Kind of steer toward it because I'm not open at 7. I match the farm hours. I don't want to open before they're open. So right now I open 10. I don't match them. I come in later, so I'm 10 to 1 when I'm there, which is not really like your first coffee of the day. People are looking for more of a treat when they come over.
Yeah, I don't mind
Yeah.
it. It's just like it's more time consuming, especially for the barista where they have to line the cup and then they
Oh,
have to.
100%.
It's just so much time involved. With meanwhile, I just want a speedy like process where you don't have to do all that extra stuff. Like they're making this fancy cold foam now. Now you have this flavor cold foam and you have that flavor cold foam, and it's like just give me a regular cold foam. There's all different types of cold foam combinations.
I do cold foam with whatever syrup because I make every single batch to to go. But you know what I love as both the consumer and the barista is a black cold brew. Easy.
Like, a cold foam should be with a cold brew, right? You get a black cold brew, right? And you put the
Mhm.
cold foam top, and then you put the little bit of, like, whatever crunch
You
or
can taste them all
drizzle,
together.
and
Yeah.
you taste it all together. That's what the cold foam should be on, not on a latte. A latte is just a latte. The only thing you need to put on a latte is just a whipped cream on top, and then whatever sprinkles you wanna put on top of it. Like, don't make it so difficult, like and then that now you have dairy and non-dairy. Do you want a dairy cold foam or a non-dairy cold foam? Now you have
Oh, yeah.
more. Oh god.
I know there's so many options, but again, I'll play devil's advocate. I have so many customers and I want to make sure that I have something for everybody. I would there's events where I would lose half my sales if I didn't have non-dairy options. And I hate
But,
when
like,
people feel sick, so, I want to make sure there's something that somebody can drink without getting ill.
yeah, and the thing is too is, like, how much of a cost is it costing you to put all those extras on a latte? Are you making 30%, 20%, 15% margins? Like, what are your margins for adding all that extra stuff? And you have these specialty milks too on top of that.
Yeah, so my milks, I made the decision pretty early on. I just carry a whole dairy milk and an oat milk as far as like the main ones. I have half and half whipping cream and a non-dairy whipped cream. But the milk I don't upcharge for oat. It's all kind of built in and I take a little bit more of a loss on some drinks over others because I know so many people that like physically can't drink it and I feel like it's like the pink tax. Like, "Oh, you're lactose free, but I'm going to charge you more if you want the same thing." I feel like and obviously, you're paying more as a business owner. It makes sense if you have to charge more. I'm not hating on anybody who does that either, because that also makes sense. My business, that was the decision I made early on, that having the dairy-free wasn't gonna be an upcharge. The toppings on it, when I do cold foam, all of them are an extra charge, whether it's non-dairy or, made from regular whipping cream, to cover the cost there, because that is it's a big cost for a little bit of ingredient to add that cold foam on. And if there's any, like, fancy drink where it comes with it, where it's one big thing, like, for one of the school fundraisers, did it was for Middleburg, so MCS is the school initials, so I did a mint chocolate swirl. So it's chocolate with the mint on top of it, so it's all one thing. So that had the price included in that too. So yeah, it is something to be considered.
Yeah, because it's just like it's more time, more energy. You have to create all these things, and then now you have to come up with make somewhat of a profit. It's just a lot
Yeah.
involved, and then
Yeah.
that's why you take that's why you're sitting in the line a lot longer for that barista to make that, especially when you're like a small business and you have 2 or 3 people there. So one's doing the register, ringing up the line, the other one's making the drinks, the other one's pulling the shots. It's just like if you're doing it with 2 people, it's not feasible, but when you have multiple machines and you have multiple people, then it's feasible. But for
Yeah.
someone like you, you're by yourself. Now you're
Yeah.
ringing this person out, and then you're
Yeah.
making the drink, and then
Yeah.
you're doing all these extra stuff, and then you hand in the drink, and now you
Yeah.
have a line right out the door, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, it's always a battle. So there's like this Thursday when I'm at Scary doing their fundraiser, it's always a madhouse there. The first time I did it, I happened to have a friend visiting who came just to hang out with me, and it turned out that she worked straight through the entire thing. So they've had honor society students come help in the trailer to take the money, wash dishes, things that they don't necessarily need the barista skill for. But that and I've limited that menu. So I definitely tweak it depending on the event and knowing how hard I'm going to have to be working and take some things out. If it's the cart, I can't handle cold foam at the same time anyway, even if I had the cleaning capacity for it. So that, yeah, it's definitely, it changes my menu when there's a busier event, when I know it's going to be busier.
When you're doing your mobile cart, you try to keep your menu pretty much limited. Like, do you do, like, monthly different drinks every month, or do you and you keep it limited?
Like, I have a core menu with all your basic espresso machines, although mine only lists latte, which is tells you kind of the area that I'm in and my customer base. I only list that, but if somebody asks for something else, I'm gonna do it. Some drinks I rarely make, so I have a note on the board to make sure to make sure I can make them appropriately. But your lattes, cold brews, drip coffee or americanos, depending on the time of year. I have 2 specialties that stay on the board year round, and then I usually do about 3 specials that change. Since I'm mostly weekends, they last a little bit longer than a month. They're probably there for 2 months at least, and then swap those out. Some events, like the Middleburg one, I'll make something very specifically for that event that I'm at.
Any weird drinks that anybody has ordered that you're like, "How the hell am I gonna make this?" Or, "Why this person pick this kind of drink?"
I mean, it's more common, but I always second guess people who are asking for a full 16-ounce iced breve. I just don't like half and half enough, and I always question it. Like, are you sure you want on it the full latte size, but with half and half in your iced drink? Just so we're clear, and everybody who has ordered it as that is what they want. So to me, it's an odd choice. I know it's a kind of common one. There's a couple of different flavor combinations that wind up being a little different, but nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. I know there's something that somebody combines with peanut butter, but I can't remember. Mint? It's like peanut butter and mint or something strange.
Oh, peanut butter and mint? Hey, it might be a good combination, who knows?
Right. That's what happens half the time, I feel like. If there's an order that I think is different than we normally get, I'll try it once they leave and see if it turns into something.
Weird combinations or weird, like, syrups and drinks like that sometimes could be you just it's like it could be a hit or a miss, and I do some weird stuff too, and I'm like, "Wow," I said, "I'm surprised I made this, and this came out pretty good."
Right, right. It's fun. It does make it fun.
Yeah, it does. That's the whole thing about, like, being a barista, you get to be a mixologist. You get to mix all these different combinations and try them out, and then just, "Hey, this works. I'm gonna put it on my menu. Let me see how it goes," you know?
Right? Yeah, and that makes it tricky too when people because there's so many different palettes out there. When people ask what I recommend off the menu, it's maybe my least favorite question when they just say, "Make me what you wanna make me." I'm like, "I have no idea what you like. I don't I don't know. I could I'm gonna make you I drink a black cold brew in the morning. Can I make that for you? I don't know if that's what you're looking for." And sometimes my specials are not like the Cadbury caramel that I was telling you about that I have right now. It's too sweet for me. I won't drink it, but it's something that a lot of my customers are happy about and really like.
I did the Cadbury egg latte, so I took, like, the
Yep.
Cadbury egg minis, and I
Yep.
crushed them up, and then I put the espresso right on top and let it melt and sit there for a little bit.
Nice.
Then I mixed the chocolate sauce. Can't remember what else I did, and then I just mixed it all together, and then I put everything all together with everything and did, like, a shaken espresso, and that came out, like, really good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did, like, a shake espresso, put, like, the topping, like, the whipped cream with the Cadbury egg, whatever, crushed on top, drank that was, like, amazing. I was like, "Wow, this came out really good."
There you go. There's your dessert latte. But you're not making it for a crowd. That would be a process to do with the melting the candy in the trailer.
Yes, exactly, it will be a process. Right now, I'm doing, like, more of, like, Hawaiian drinks, like macadamia nut, honey, and coconut. It's crazy, coconut this year has been a thing. It wasn't like that last year, but Hawaii has been doing a lot of coconut lattes out in the islands, and I guess a lot of people has visited Hawaii, and now they're starting to crave those island drinks because we had such a brutal winter. So, like, I want the nice Hawaiian vibes, beach vibes. I want a coconut drink, and I think people are just over it and want to go into the spring, summertime and get those, like, crazy drinks, like the coconut and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you can make, like, coconut macadamia nut latte,
Yeah. We've got a lot of people are ordering chocolate coconut right now, just switching up their mocha, adding in some coconut to it.
that's just like an almond joy.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what some people call it. Yep, exactly.
I seen that, like, I don't think that's really too much of, like, a special thing, but when you add macadamia nut and you add the coconut into it, it's really good, and then you can add, like, macadamia nut, coconut, and honey, that's another good one, or you do, like, vanilla, honey, and macadamia nut, there's so many different combinations you can do, it's just I've been doing it because I have all the recipes for all the shops that I went to when I was in Hawaii, all those coffee shops, and I've been, like,
Oh, there you go.
trying to mimic those drinks and try them out for myself.
And find it, yeah.
The only downfall is I don't have the Hawaiian beans. I have to order beans from Hawaii and have them bring it over here. But definitely, that would definitely make the drink better.
Those Kona the prices on the Kona beans have woo, they're pretty high right now too.
Yeah, definitely high. But I can get like the mix. I don't have to get the full Kona because a lot of
Okay,
the
nice.
coffee shops there they do the mix. They don't do the full Kona. But definitely, since you do a lot of the mobile traveling, How is that with dealing with the different counties and their regulations with the Department of Health? Because each county is different, so a lot more stricter than others. Like, how is that challenge?
Even with some of them being more challenging, for me, the counties that I've done, Schenectady County has, the longest wait time, the highest charge for a temporary permit, 'cause I've just been doing temporaries everywhere. But even then, the people that I've worked with have been really great. It's been a pretty seamless process. It's just I have to take that into consideration if people are doing private events. I have a note on my thing, if you're in a county outside of Scary, you might have another charge. I can't do a $90 fee, like, on top of that and charge you the same as I would for Scary County. I've been up in Fulton County has been pretty seamless. They have their Fulton, Montgomery, and another county out of the same office, just like Oswego, Greene County, and Delaware County, I think. Is that right? Is Oswego where Oneonta is? And they're all out of the Oneonta office there too. They same thing. They've been pretty easy to work with. So it hasn't really been bad. And again, just temporary permits for those places.
What is the lead time to get those, like, temporary? How long does it like, the process for that?
I think they ask for like 10 days, 10 business days, most of them. Some of them have been able to turn it around really quickly. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Schenectady usually follows up with a bunch of different questions, but yeah, pretty quick turnaround. So you just can't do like if somebody asks you to do Friday at a thing, you just need a little bit more lead time. I try and give them a month just to make it easy.
Oh, okay, that's good. Like, once you did do the temporary, then you have another event, and, like, you need to go back for another temporary. It's pretty much seamless after that, like, your first go around, or are they gonna ask you the same questions to redo it over and over again?
That's why Schenectady is the hardest for me. It's usually somebody else who's doing it and they ask the same questions, even if your answers are the same. There's been less questions from the other counties because I try and put everything in writing, but even Schenectady, they just want to double check and make sure everything's to code and what they're expecting to see. But it really hasn't been bad. The same general across the state, the same general concepts. If you go a little bit harder and you're a little bit stricter on your setup, it's going to work everywhere. I may do a year-long permit for the Delaware Green and Otsego counties. It's a similar price to Scary County, and you can cover all three with that rather than going back and paying every single time. And there's some counties where if you know that you have 6 events coming up, you can put it all on one application and pay the one time, and they'll approve it the one time. And there's, I believe, Schenectady, you have to do every event separately.
Are you gonna be doing farmers market, or are you just gonna be doing, like, different areas?
Yeah, so the farmers markets that have come up and the weekly ones that would appeal to me are generally the same time where I'm busier on the local farm here that I want to draw people to whenever I can. So I really, something has to be, there has to be some piece of an event on a Saturday or Sunday to really pull me away, whether it's how much I'll make there, but not always. Sometimes it's what the cause is at the fundraisers for or what group I get to work with. So farmers markets, I think for me, for my vision of the business is a little too close to the farm itself. Because I know there's a local one too that's starting. It's going to be at the Cobleskill Fairgrounds, Scary County Farmers Market, and I had somebody reach out and say, make sure you apply, but it's the same days. I don't want to pull my customers away from this farm to go to another farmer's market.
No, you want everybody to just be in the one location that you're at and just be easier than just to travel and find you all around
Yeah. Although
majority of the time.
that's part of the fun too. I know it bothers some people because they're like, I never know where you are. I know when you came to find the to try a drink at the trailer too, it was hard to see my exact times. I try and pin my schedule, my social media, Instagram and Facebook. I try to pin on those pages my most recent schedule and kind of delete all the old ones, so it's a little bit less confusing. But it still can be tough because I don't have a phone number for the business. Because it would just be coming to my person. There's ways around it, but I don't have a phone number for somebody to call and say, hey, my website, I'm not on top of media enough to update hours there all the time. So it really just kicks you to social media to find it there.
Is it gonna be in that same farm that I from last year? That's where you're gonna be?
Yeah, that's my main hub.
Alright, I'm looking forward so I can come by and see you again.
Good, good. Do it when the farm is in full swing. I don't know what, I can't remember. You were in the fall, I think. So do it when the farm is in full swing because it's also a really cool, separate from me, a really cool farm stand because they grow like you can see across the road where all their fields are. They have a couple of things that they don't grow that they bring in, but when they're in full swing and it's all peppers and melons and corn and lettuce, and it's pretty incredible what they can actually kick out of this soil here.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I wanna bring my wife actually and my daughter so
Oh,
they
good.
can see the farm and everything, and then we can get some coffee. That's gonna be
Awesome.
great.
And do the Vroman's Nose hike, which is right here. It's kind of what you have to come around the mountain, the glacial formation mountain there with the scarred face. But it's a really easy, like up and down hike, but you get more than 180 view of the valley, which is really cool because it's kind of on the edge. Definitely
Oh,
add to your list.
that would be a great weekend. I'm like, when you start? Because I need to know.
My trailer.
Yeah, when are you gonna start?
I should be open. So the farm that I'm at right now, across the road and a quarter mile closer to town, is their greenhouses with their flowers. They open on Earth Day. So that Saturday and Sunday should be my first weekend with the trailer. If something happens and there's a lot of freezing overnights, I'll have the cart down there. But that's the goal for the trailer opening.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. What is the future for the next couple of years on your coffee cart, your mobile coffee cart? Like, what is your plans and what are you planning to achieve for the next couple of years?
I would like to, during the school year when my kids are in school, again, they have a huge factor in how I run and how my time is managed. We're lucky to have family right here, so it makes it a little bit easier. During school seasons, I would like to increase the frequency that I'm open a couple of mornings during the week too, whether that's at schools or businesses or that I'm popping up. That's a big one. I would love to either have a smaller or secondary trailer that's easier to kind of bop around with and have my main trailer be more stationary. So, not a brick and mortar, but be a more stationary thing so somebody could always find me at the farm, which would add to the goal that I would like to have somebody else that I can trust to run that show. I think that's a big one for me is getting people in, employees to help out more frequently.
That'll be good though. Like you can do the mobile, you can do that. You have multiple things going on, and it'll um, definitely be a great thing for you. More money,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
opportunities.
Yeah. So I'd say that's probably a 3-year goal. Um, we'll see how it goes.
I have high hopes. If you continue the way that you're going, you're definitely gonna explode. Like mostly the mobile stuff that I've been to so far has been exploding. Like people start off working a 9 to 5 job, doing this on the weekends. Now they're quitting their 9 to 5 job to pursue their mobile full time, and then actually open up a brick and mortar. And that's like the greatest thing ever. Seeing that, that's where you have to
Right.
first start off: mobile, brick and mortar, and then
Yeah.
you're setting off.
Right. Right. Yeah. I know a lot of people go that direction. It's been interesting to follow on these social media groups with other mobile business owners, those that are going into it with the goal of having a brick and mortar, those that have opened a brick and mortar and have reversed and have gone mobile to get rid of that, and those that have gone back and forth, just kind of following those journeys and what their pros and cons are. It hasn't changed my mind yet. I still don't want a brick and mortar.
The thing is too is like if I was to open up a coffee shop and do that on my own, I don't want a brick and mortar. I want a mobile on wheels. So I could just drive the truck to the location and then in the back I'll have like a mobile cart that I can push right out. So if I'm doing an event indoors, I could push that right out. I'll make it so much easier for myself. Go in and out, do the venue, have the mobile cart for outside events, and I'm good. I don't have to worry about anything. It's all on wheels. I don't have to trailer anything and have all my stuff right there. It'll be less of a headache. I don't have to worry about paying an employee. I don't have to worry about, like, paying National Grid because, they're greedy, and National Greedy, we call them.
It's been insane, the bills. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're increasing their rates next month, so it's gonna be
And
even, like, a 5%
uh,
more, and it's, like, out of this is it's crazy how, like, stuff like that is. And then I don't have to worry about things breaking besides the stuff that I have there, but I know that I can fix the stuff. If I could fix the truck itself, I could fix the equipment because I
Oh,
have
see, so you got a leg up on me where if something goes on my car, I'm like, because we changed my personal vehicle. I upgraded it to a car that could pull the weight that I needed to pull. So if it goes for the trailer, it goes for my personal vehicle too. So I need to get them fixed right away. And I don't know cars. I don't know cars. I don't know trailers. The brakes that are getting fixed today. Couldn't he tried to show me is a friend of ours tried to show me, had me look at how to change the brakes, and it's not in my skill set. So for me, that's another pain in the butt.
Well, the thing is, like, pulling a trailer, it's a lot, especially when you have to have your personal vehicle plus the trailer behind it. Like, I don't want that concept. I want just the one with just a it's already like a food truck, and I could just drive it to the
Or
location, and
drive the
that's
whole.
it. Yeah, drive
Yeah,
the whole truck, and it's a lot easier that way than to deal with that. I'd rather keep my personal vehicle to the side, save more wear and tear on that because that puts a lot of wear and tear,
sure does.
especially when
Yeah.
you're hauling that much, especially that much weight. Your
Yeah.
brakes will go. It's a lot
Yep.
for the engine. What is your go-to drink every morning? Coffee drink.
Yeah, I'm black cold brew when it's in season. I don't make it as much when it's in the winter, but I've just started making it again. Otherwise, an Americano.
Americano.
Yeah, yeah. If it's not cold brew season and the espresso machine, just kick out the Americanos. Yeah, I'm not super exciting as far as my menus go. I'm way less exciting than my menu. If I had to add a flavor to it, if I had to add a flavor, do a flavored latte, pistachio is one of my favorites that I carry.
Pistachio.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's one place that has the best pistachio latte ever.
Where's that?
It's over here in Latham. They have these new Yemenis coffee shops that just opened. There's two that just open up within a week from each other, and there's a third one opening up pretty soon. So you got Shaban and Komari. So
Yeah.
Komari makes the best pistachio latte. It's so creamy, and
Really?
it has like that pistachio taste that you expect it to be. That sweet pistachio, so good. I think they use condensed milk and then the pistachio cream when they mix it up with the espresso and then your regular milk. Oh man, it's so good. There's no place out if someone tells me, I'll make you pistachio," nope, don't make it because I know I'm not gonna like it
No, where
because
you're
there's
like, yeah,
nothing that's outbeating this one, you know?
right.
Yeah, tho that's like my top, like, favorite pistachio one. What about creamers? Do you put any creamers in your drinks?
If I do, it's whole milk or half and half.
You don't use, like, Chobani or International Delight or all those coffee mate no?
No, because if I want it sweet, I wanna customize it. I don't want it just to be a sweet milk. I know that works for a lot of people. I would rather yeah, plus we always have milk in the house. We always have leftover half and half. So, yeah.
If I'm doing, like, a regular drip coffee, every once in a while, I will put, like, a creamer, I'll put a little bit in there, but most of the time I do like, my pour overs, I'll just drink it straight black just to taste, like,
Yep.
the notes of,
Yeah,
like, the beans itself, like, if it has, like, a fruity floral notes to it, I wanna taste those fruity floral notes, and I have some good coffee that are meant for that, like, specialty coffee beans, and I just love doing pour overs.
that's fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So is there anything you wanna say where people can find you? You wanna throw in your social media,
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, Instagram, all one word, Hardscrabble, like the word hard and then the game Scrabble, coffee for Instagram. It's Hardscrabble Coffee Trailer on Facebook. But follow there, find the top pin post, come visit. If there's an event that's closer to you, come to that one first. But definitely try to come out to the Schoharie Valley. Check it out here, definitely in high summer season. So you can see all the farms, you can do all the hikes, hit up our other local shops that are here. Yeah, come on out.
Yeah, definitely follow Emily in her adventure with her mobile cart and try out her coffee. It's really good. She's mobile, she's all over the place. Follow her journey and get yourself a good cup of coffee and have some great vibes and great energy. And thank you for being at the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Behind the Roast podcast. We hope you enjoy hearing about Emily's journey with Hardscrabble Coffee. If you love this episode, please leave us a review and share it with your friends. Follow Emily's coffee adventure on Instagram at Hardscrabble Coffee. Join us next time as we chat with other local entrepreneurs making waves in the community. Until next time, support your local coffee shops.